Hi, my name is Rory. I'm here at National, Calgary, Alberta. We're working on this 4Runner today. We're going to be doing a full driveline service. Transmissions are probably the most neglected part of the vehicle nowadays, as a lot of manufacturers do say that fluid is lifetime. It's definitely not lifetime. If these fluids aren't maintained in your vehicle, it'll potentially lead to premature failure of the internal components. I'll walk you through what we're going to be doing here today and what a full driveline service includes here at National. So first off, we're going to be servicing our rear differential. So in this case, it's just a simple drain and fill, so we'll put fresh fluid in there. Next, we're going to be doing the transfer case. It's another important one that gets overlooked a lot. Transmission, we're going to be dropping the fluid, dropping the pan, changing the filter, giving it a good clean out. And then last, we're going to be doing the front dip as well. It's another drain and fill. We have our rear differential fluid. Moving on, we got our front differential fluid. Lastly, our ATF. We've got our Toyota specific ATF, so we know it's the right fluid, has the right additives. So the color, a little bit of wear and tear on it. It's not abnormal for the mileage. It's not black and full of sparkly metal, so I'd say it looks like a pretty normal differential fluid. On a lot of differentials, transfer cases, even engine oil, you'll have a magnet on the drain plug. As we can see, there's not really a ton of metal on this. There's a little bit, but that's kind of to be expected with the mileage that this is at. Regular engine oil changes, don't stretch it out to the 10,000 kilometers. This is another example of a drain plug with a magnet. As you can see, there's a little bit of metal debris on there, but at this mileage, I wouldn't really consider that anything to worry about. And then always clean the area so you know you don't have any leaks. So we're gonna be filling the transfer case. It's kind of a link between the transmission and the rear differential. Typically they're chain driven. So when your four-wheel drive is selected, there's typically a motor that will lock the two pulleys together, and the chain will drive the forward drive shaft pulley and transfer power to the front end. Going to be servicing the transmission now. Unfortunately, this transmission isn't like the traditional transmission where you have a dipstick and you fill it from a dipstick tube. You have to, unfortunately, have special tools to be able to fill it from underneath. One of the things I like to do, I'll give you a baseline, is I actually like to collect the fluid and see how much I'm getting out of it. Just because this is a drain and fill, there's no actual serviceable filter. Well, it has a filter, but it's a metal mesh filter, so the dealership won't actually sell you one or recommend replacing it. It's just the way to service this particular transmission is literally just draining the fluid and putting new fluid into it. It doesn't smell burnt, it smells like normal transmission fluid at this mileage. This is kind of the more crucial one that's easy to mess up. You don't want to overfill it or underfill it. You know, if you overfill the transmission, it could either A, vent out the vent, you have a massive mess on your hands, but alternatively what will happen when you overfill a transmission is it could start to aerate the fluid in the pump. And then if you have air in your pump, your pressures are going to be off, and it's potentially going to cause internal damage in the transmission. And it's the same if you underfill it. So you don't want to see a steady stream, you just want to see some drops, just to indicate it's kind of flush with that level indicator. So something I like to do after I'm done working on a vehicle, just for my own peace of mind, so I don't wake up at 11 p.m. when I'm trying to go to sleep and think if I tightened something enough or verified the level, I just triple check everything. So we're all done here. So front, rear differential service, as well as the transfer case and transmission, all went good. Everything looked normal. That's why it's important to service it regularly so you're able to maintain it and drive it for as long as possible. If you like the video, like, subscribe, comment, share it to your friends. If you have any questions, feel free to contact National Transmission, and I would more than happy to help you.